It's a surprise to nobody really when I say that Classic WoW is not currently at peak performance. With Cataclysm and Season of Discovery not appealing to many fans, it's no surprise that interest in custom Classic Plus servers is on the rise. Today I want to showcase some of the most creative and engaging custom World of Warcraft servers that in many ways are outperforming Blizzard's official options, and to be honest, putting them to shame. For legal reasons I can't name specific private servers, so you'll need to do some research to find them. However, one thing most people agree on is that new content is the lifeblood of a good Classic Plus server. So let's dive into some inventive ideas that these custom servers have implemented, starting with unique new dungeons, new raids, revamped open world content, new race and class combinations, and also new actual races and classes, and lastly, some other game changes that are quite interesting. Karazhan Crypts, long speculated by players, was originally thought to be an extension of the main Karazhan instance, perhaps scrapped due to the size of the original Karazhan, but on this server it's reimagined as a 5-man dungeon populated by undead enemies and necromancers, with a long, lore-rich questline required to actually unlock the gate, unless you have a rogue with maxed out lockpicking. Ironically, Blizzard actually teased a Karazhan and Scarlet Monastery instance for Season of Discovery, but it has yet to actually materialise. Separate from the stockades and surrounded by water, the Stormwind Vault was never accessible in-game without glitching through walls, but it was definitely intended to be an instance. Interestingly, in Cataclysm and retail versions, the in-game clock displays 8:15, referencing both Deathwing's attack on Stormwind, but also the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. On this server, the vault is open, and it is overrun by warlocks and is even accessible to the Horde through a hidden entrance in Elwyn Forest. A settlement of Dark Iron Dwarves, the Hateforge Quarry, features a dark, searing gorge-like aesthetic with dwarves labouring on a powerful new weapon. Players can also explore a hidden cave in the area, adding an extra level of mystery and adventure to the dungeon. Gurnea City is an atmospheric favourite, perfect for fans of gothic aesthetics. This instance takes place for a sprawling city overrun by undead and Worgen. Picture the combined feel of Stratholme and Shadowfang Keep, eerie, intense and thrilling. By the way guys, for more Classic Plus news and updates, remember to subscribe to the channel, because Blizzard may announce something at the upcoming Warcraft Direct, which is basically a mini BlizzCon style event that could finally address the future or possibility of Classic Plus or the evolution of the Season of Discovery, and I'll cover any interesting updates straight away on this channel when we know something. A low level instance around level 30, the Crescent Grove feels more like an open world zone in Ashenvale than a traditional dungeon. Players encounter a mix of furbolgs, demons and corrupted druids, creating a rich atmospheric experience in the heart of nature. Located in Stranglethorn Vale, the Glittermerk Mines is an underground Goblin Venture Co. mining facility inspired by the large Venture Co. mine in Mulgore. This instance offers a gritty industrial feel, capturing the unique goblin greed and danger of the area. One of the most iconic custom server instances that we've seen on many servers is the Emerald Dream, or Emerald Sanctum, a location originally actually included in the game files but was only actually accessible through glitching in the Burning Crusade. It was seemingly intended to be accessed through the green dragon portals guarded by those world bosses. Blizzard may have pivoted to just having the dragon bosses instead of a full raid due to the limited development time that they had back in the day, because there's loads and loads of clues to an Emerald Dream raid being a possibility in the game in certain quest chains. Blizzard devs did later confirm that they just didn't want to pursue this path in vanilla storyline, though they did revisit the concept in the Legion expansion with the Emerald Nightmare raid. Another popular raid location on custom servers is Uldum. Although Uldum was introduced fully in Cataclysm, its underground Titan facility, reminiscent of Ulduar and Uldaman, kinda didn't really get fully explored in Cataclysm. There's so many lore connections in vanilla quests hinting at a potential raid happening in Uldum. Essentially imagine this as an expanded and more formidable version of Uldum with a 40-man raid. These custom servers also have a lot of revamped and added open world content, which I would argue is just as essential as adding new dungeons and raids, especially if you want to create a fully fleshed out Classic Plus experience, expanding and completing the areas that Blizzard just didn't have time to fully finish in vanilla. Filling in the corners of the vanilla world and the lore is really what Classic WoW fans want to see. Here are some standout zones that I find interesting. Firstly, Sorrowguard Keep. This is an Alliance stronghold initially cut from the Swamp of Sorrows, and it gives the Alliance a more robust quest hub in the region, meaning that it isn't just Horde that gets some good quests in this area. Hyjal has been fully restored to its original vanilla form. It's a fascinating zone because it captures a region before Deathwing's catastrophic destruction. It's also a very nostalgic experience for those who played the Warcraft games back in the day, giving a sense of what the area was actually like following Archimonde's defeat. Gilneas is probably one of World of Warcraft's most atmospheric locations, but it was sadly only used as the Worgen starting area in Cataclysm and was just totally left empty when you went to revisit it. This was around the time when WoW's questing design totally changed. It became more linear, story focused and phased, and obviously the world adapted to a player's progression on the story. But revisiting Gilneas as a fully developed city with the open-ended exploration driven questing style of vanilla would be amazing. Imagine it as an elite open world dungeon with the haunting vibe of Shadowfang Keep, perfect for players who enjoy immersive lore and challenging enemies. Originally only limited to the phased Death Knight starting experience, the Scarlet Enclave could make a fantastic open world elite area accessible to all classes and races. Imagine questing through a vast Scarlet Crusade stronghold with elite mobs and challenging content culminating in a Scarlet Crusade themed 40-man raid. Fitting battleground for heroes facing off against one of World of Warcraft's most iconic factions, which still to this day hasn't really been fully realised as a raid, surprisingly. Bloodfist Point and Flask Whisker Front, sorry it's a bit of a tongue twister that one, has taken me quite a few attempts. These are basically new quest hubs added to Azshara, which in my opinion is a much needed addition. Originally players had to trek back to Orgrimmar or Ironforge repeatedly to continue Azshara's quest chains, which was kind of annoying. In vanilla, the lack of quest hubs in high-level zones was kind of a big problem. It often made leveling feel pretty tedious and incomplete. But on this custom server, the higher-level zones have been overhauled to feel more vibrant and engaging, with more depth, variety and polish, greatly enhancing the experience of the plus 40 zones by simply just adding more quest hubs. PvP content is vital for a returning and thriving community because it's obviously very fun, repeatable content, and some custom servers have introduced new PvP experiences, and here are some of the highlights. Firstly, Warsong Gulch and Arathi Basin brackets have been expanded, so they've basically opened up the brackets at level 1 to 1, but also 1 to 10, for people who like that really low level twinking, and also level 21 to 29 for Arathi Basin. Sunnyglade Valley is a new battleground. It's a 10v10 mode set in early World of Warcraft lore. It's actually a time travel themed battleground, which is actually a really cool idea. I don't see why Blizzard haven't had more like time travel based battlegrounds in, a PvP instance, because, they've got the Caverns of Time in the lore. It's not as if it's not possible. This essentially takes players back to the first war between humans and orcs near the Tower of Azora in Elwyn Forest, with a setup pretty reminiscent of Arathi Basin Ivor Storm, where players fight to capture fortresses and turn the tide of the war in this lost kingdom. Some servers feature an unranked arena system with its own PvP awards, obtained through a new reputation system, the Steam Weedle Blood Ring. This provides fresh progression opportunities for players who enjoy arena combat without the pressure of ranking. There's also a bounty board system and the City Protector system. Interestingly, the City Protector rank was actually cut from the original vanilla, and it was granted to the person who was rank 1 on the server, essentially, at the end of the week when everything was counted up, and they were given an amulet to teleport back to their capital city every 1 hour, and it was also a temporary title, and this server essentially restored the feature and allowed the top 8 players to get this title. I've also seen Gilligam's Isle reimagined as a battleground. Originally this was an island in the World of Warcraft Isle offer, but was basically obviously scrapped content. Other servers have also restored it as a really big quest hub. basically a island off the coast of Stranglethorn Vale and a mix of jungle and danger, and I think it's perfect for an exciting PvP environment. Some custom servers have experimented with new races, classes, and race-to-class combinations. Among the new races available are Goblins, High Elves, Alteric Humans, Kulturans, Dark Iron and Wildhammer Dwarves, Naga, Warg and Furbolgs, the ancient version of the Draenei, Tainted Orcs, Skeletons, Ice Trolls, Dark Trolls, Wretched Elves, Ogres, Murlocs, Forest Trolls, and Darkfallen. While some of these additions feel probably a little bit excessive, they could work as customization options within the existing races. Many players seem to prefer minor updates to class specs rather than having totally new races or classes entirely, as seen in the feedback on my recent video. Like for instance enhancements to make the original vanilla specs more viable, so there's just more broader available options in a raiding environment like the Burning Crusade raids. This would add variety to raid groups without diverging too much from that original vanilla feel. Customizations like giving dwarves a dark iron aesthetic or making humans appear more robust like Kulturans would add personality while staying true to Classic's essence. New race to class combinations have also appeared on some servers like Orc and Dwarf Mage, Gnome and Undead Hunters, Human Hunters, Troll Warlocks, basically the combos that were added in Cataclysm. Some servers are even basically implementing very similar class design to what we had in the Burning Crusade, but reworked talent trees that require fewer points. Personally, I think this approach to class design for a Classic Plus server would honestly, in my humble opinion, would be the best Classic Plus experience when it comes to classes, but I'm a little bit biased because I think TBC is my personal favourite class design in Classic WoW's history. And here are some other standout game changes that I've seen that are interesting on custom servers. Expanded travel routes like additional boat routes such as Stormwind Harbour, or the Sparkwater Port Village in the Barrens, which actually connects to Raventusk Village in the Hinterlands, and new Zeppelin routes like Thunderbluff, Orgrimmar and Kargath all being connected. The original Classic dungeons have also been enhanced with new areas and new bosses, such as a Harvest Golem Foundry and a laboratory in the Dead Mines, a prison wing in a Scarlet Monastery graveyard, making it a much bigger instance, which is definitely needed because it is quite a small one, and a chapel in Shadowfang Keep. These expansions make the dungeon feel richer and more rewarding for exploration. Some custom servers have introduced dual crafting also as profession, a pre-made group finder, and a battleground finder accessible from the minimap, similar to features that make grouping and PvP more accessible in the later expansions, and other things obviously like instant mail, UI improvements, graphic improvements, along with things like dual spec, which obviously many players do like, and we did like all that kind of stuff when it was added in Season of Discovery too. Anyway guys, let me know what you think of all of these custom server features and added content, and any other ideas that you think could be interesting to add to a future official Classic Plus server. Anyway guys, hopefully something will come from Warcraft Direct. Maybe we'll finally get some news on what the future is for Classic. But anyway, see you in the next video. Ciao.